Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Tuesday. Yes, it is. It's Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. Another wonderful day, another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen when you focus on what is good, because you can't project something good to happen if you are sitting around thinking about problems and negative things. So focus on what's good, please. Please do yourself some good and focus on what is good. Yes, it's a wonderful day. If you are out there traveling about today, make sure you say a prayer. Make sure you are not distracted by being on your phone. Yes, that's right. Don't be distracted by being on your phone too much. Pay attention to what is going on in your environment. Yes, we have that responsibility to do that. And make sure you keep your family members safe and keep yourself safe. Make sure you use that hand sanitizer. Yes, and wash your hands. It's important. Wash your hands and use that hand sanitizer. I always remind you of these things. Why? Because I care. Don't you like to be cared for? If you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo. If you are not comfortable giving on apps, you can contact me on Facebook, on my Facebook page. You can view my business address there. Yes, you can. Go to my Facebook page, SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and you can see my business address there. Or contact me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email, and I can provide you with information so that you can give, because it's always important to give. And thank you so much for your support and your donations. Well, I decided to come on today and just talk to you about relationships. The value of relationships. Yes, the value of relationships, and why is it important to value the next person? Why? None of us are perfect. None of us will never be perfect. That's right. Why? Because we were all born into an imperfect situation in the world. There is imperfections. But despite our imperfections, we still can find the value in one another. And how do we find the value in one another? Well, we can think about those things that are important when it comes to how we should treat one another. We can think about the power of love. We can think about the power of kindness. We can think about the things that help us to have quality-filled relationships. I always talk about a quality-filled life, but we also can have quality-filled relationships. And what is a quality-filled relationship? A quality-filled relationship is filled with trust, integrity, honesty, compassion, goodness, patience, all of the things that help us to just keep our relationships good. And like I said, that does not mean being perfect, because we're not robots. We're not robots, and there's no way in this lifetime we could ever be perfect. But we can be better. You see, we can be better. We don't have to be perfect, but we can be better, and we can walk in healing. How do you walk in healing? Because sometimes when I say that walk in healing, some people, they ask the questions, well, how do you walk in healing? You walk in healing according to how you think. If you are thinking well of yourself, and you are thinking well about others, and you are projecting good things and positive things, yes, that is walking in healing. When you have a situation that's uncomfortable, if you're dealing with something in your life, if you've been hurt and you've gone through something, it's best to forgive quickly and simply walk in healing by renewing your thoughts about people, renewing your thoughts about life, renewing your thoughts about how to live. How do you renew your thoughts? You renew your thoughts by exposing yourself to information to help you think differently and better. That's right. Many years ago, when I was much younger, I used to study the mind. And of course, I took psychology and sociology in college. And there was a lot of things I wanted to change in my life. And I kept asking myself the question, how can I change how I think? Well, I started reading a lot of inspirational content. I started reading the Bible. I started listening to videos and listening to people that had and represented a life of transformation. I wasn't going to just listen to anybody. I had to listen to someone that could present an actual transformation, someone that could present evidence of their life being changed. So what I'm saying is this. It is important that we value one another. It is important that we work on ourselves as individuals, valuing ourselves first to understand how we should value others. When we understand the importance of valuing one another, then we can start to build quality-filled relationships. We should never walk around and have what is called a non-caring attitude and just live a life of mistreating people. We can't live like that. Because if you live like that, that simply means you don't have a quality-filled life. You can have all the cars and money and houses, but if you are not appropriating behavior toward people that is good, that means you are not living a quality-filled life. We must be very mindful of how we treat people, because what you do to other people, the sun might be shining in your life today, but believe me when I tell you, it's going to come right back around the corner to your address again. So be careful how you treat people. I'm talking about this topic because over the last couple of days, I was thinking about the importance of maintaining good relationships in my life. Yes, I was thinking about how to continue to maintain good relationships in my life. When you maintain good relationships in your life, it causes you to prosper. It causes you to have more happiness. It causes you to have more joy on different levels when you maintain good relationships in your life. And like I said, I am not talking about being perfect, because none of us can be perfect. But the way to maintain good quality relationships in your life is to simply be accountable for you. When other people do things that are not honorable, yes, you can forgive them. You can. But maintain a consistent standard that represents the quality that you want to experience in your life. If someone treats you beneath that standard, you don't have to tolerate it. You can set them at a distance, and I use the word set them at a distance. That means you don't have to deal with them constantly. You can set them at a distance and deal with them when it's time. Yes, you can set them at a distance, love them at a distance, and deal with them when it's time. And when it's time, it could mean at a gathering or something when you have to see them. Hi, how you doing? Love you. All right, see you later. You don't have to deal with them up close all the time. Just because you decide to keep a distance from a person does not mean you don't love them. That's right. Just because you keep a distance from someone does not mean you don't love them. Because someone tried to tell me, oh, well, you don't want to be around me anymore, so that means you don't love me. No, that doesn't mean that. It means I decided to keep a distance because of the behaviors I see I don't want to be a part of. And I decided to keep a distance because the standards of behaviors are not acceptable to me. For me, I'm not in agreement with it. So you can choose what you want to be around and what you don't want to be around, or what you want to be a part of and what you don't want to be a part of. But we do have to decide to value one another, because if you value yourself, if you truly value yourself and you truly love yourself and you understand what that love is, you will truly know how to value others, because people treat others the way they treat themselves. Because when you truly understand what self-love is, because that self-love is it must be the love of God. Because the love of God he can put his love in you to love yourself, to love others. So if you don't know how to treat others, it simply means you don't know how to treat yourself. Because when you love yourself, all the good that you have in the inside of you, you will then want to project it out of you. Yes, you will want to project the love you have in you out of you, according to your words, according to how you think, according to how you act. Because self-love comes from God's love. And if you disagree with that, that's fine. But I'm saying this to you based upon the evidence of healing that I have experienced and what I have seen. When we truly value ourselves, that value, that love, that value and that love comes from God. And when you truly understand that with your heart and your mind, because your heart and your mind must be one. You can't be two people. You could be one person, whole. So if you are in agreement with your heart, understanding what is good and doing what is good, then you will truly understand the value you must have for yourself and self-love. Because see, some people, they struggle with themselves. Their heart is telling them to do one thing and their mind is telling them to do something else. So they're in a battle. Yes, some people are in a battle. They're in a battle with their heart and their mind. Their heart is a place where God speaks and God is telling them to do the right thing, but their mind is telling them to do the wrong thing. And so they're in this battle. Yes, so it is best to focus on what is good. Follow the right thing to do, to understand the benefits of doing the right things. Because when you are in agreement with your heart, the good parts of your heart, what is good, then it will manifest in your life to do even more better and greater things that are good. But the point of what I'm saying is this. We must value one another. When you devalue other people, you are devaluing yourself. When you devalue other people, you are devaluing yourself. So that is why it is important to treat others the right way. If you fall short of doing something that is right, if you don't do the right thing, you can quickly make a change by apologizing. You can quickly make a change by praying about it, being accountable to God, and doing all the things that are important to rectify the situation. But if you're one of those people and you're walking around like you haven't done nothing to nobody, you haven't done any wrong, and you're just fine, and you have no type of conscience of the wrong that you've done, that's a problem. That's a problem. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, but I have to say it the way I need to say it. That's a problem if you're walking around and you let time go by and you think you have done nothing wrong to nobody and you never said I'm sorry and you never confess you're wrong. That is a problem. It is important to understand your self-value and the value of others by being accountable. Understanding what self-love is, also to love others. This is very important because a lot of people in relationships on all levels are suffering because they have been devalued. There are people that are in relationships of all kinds. They don't feel valued because the person they are in a relationship with don't see their value. And my question to the person that is the value is, why are you in the relationship? If you feel the value, why are you still in the relationship? Or why haven't you taken a moment or taken some time to talk to the person that is devaluing you? That's right. It's time to communicate something so that you will no longer experience being devalued. Yes, you can make a change in your life because we all must value one another. It is so important. Time is moving so quickly by every single day. And people that take time for granted, they have no respect for time. They have no respect for the moment. When you take time for granted, you have no respect for the moment. This is borrowed time. Why is it borrowed time? Because God has given this to us. He has granted us this moment. And we shouldn't take it for granted. So start showing value to others as you first value yourself. Because if you love yourself and if you value yourself, then you will value others. Because if you say that you love yourself but you don't treat others right, is it really love? Is it really self-love? How can you say you love yourself if you're not loving others correctly? That's not healthy self-love, because what's in has to come out. And if you are distributing all that is not good, what does that say about your inward parts of your spirit and the content of your heart and who you are? What does that say about you? But if you're one of those people, you are distributing goodness and you are distributing all those things to help others to be better, now you're on the right track, because that says something about how you feel about yourself. We must value one another. And we do it by first valuing ourselves, loving ourselves, receiving the love of God to understand what love is. Yes. And for those of you that may not know God, just take a moment to ask him a question and pray. Lord, show me your love. Help me to understand your love. And you will understand it. Think about the times in your life when someone showed you love. Just unconditional love. With no strings attached. You didn't have to do anything. They just loved you for you. That's the love of God. Because the love of God comes through people. So you've already been shown the love of God. You probably just didn't recognize it. But that's the love of God. So we must value one another. I'm very passionate about this topic because when we value one another, when we love one another, when we support one another, when we show goodness to one another, It helps us to flourish. Yes, because love is very nurturing. And we need it. We were made to love. We wasn't made to hate. We wasn't made to hate. Yes, there are things that we do hate, but we wasn't made to hate one another. God allowed us to have an emotion and know something about hate, but he didn't create it for us to hate one another. So I hope that what I am saying, you receive this with absolute clarity so that you can apply this to something in your life to change. Because I'm thinking about this today. And that is why I wanted to share this with you. I share a lot of my thoughts pertaining to life and the things that are important. And I share it to encourage others. Because this life has to be something good. It doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be a horrible experience. When something happens that's not comfortable, we can bounce back. We can do better. But most importantly, we must value one another. Because how you feel about yourself and how you love yourself is how you will love and value others. Because what's in must come out. Who you are in the inside is displayed every day according to what you give out on the outside and how you interact with people. And if you think what I'm saying is not true, just observe very carefully yourself and other people. What's in has to come out. Out of the abundance of the mouth, the heart, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. What you think about is what you can become. And what you think about is what you will speak out of your mouth. So, on that note, I am going to conclude this episode, but I wanted to share this with you today just to make you think, just to make you think about something so that you can make another change again, if you care to. Some people don't think they have to change. Some people walk around with an attitude of, oh, I don't have to change. This is just who I am. Bitter, nasty, hateful. Oh, this is just who I am. No, that's not who you are. Because anyone that operates from a place of bitterness and hatefulness, that means they are operating from a place of pain. That's right. If a person is operating from a place of hatefulness and bitterness, they are operating from a place of pain. And guess what? It's time to be healed. So I thank you for tuning in once again to listen to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. I hope these words will encourage you in some type of way today. And if you know someone that is experiencing or living in a way that is not good, pray for them. That's right. Pray for them, encourage them. Don't criticize them, but pray for them and encourage them to do better. So once again, thank you for tuning in. Share this podcast with others. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, X, which used to be Twitter. You could also find me on iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Google me and you can find SB Favorite Thinking Podcast everywhere. I thank you so much for listening. And as I stated, please share this podcast with others. And once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo. And make sure you subscribe to me wherever you listen to me. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click like, click the bell so that you can receive a notification each time there is new episodes and new content on YouTube. Yes, click the bell so that you can receive a notification. Leave me some feedback and click like. There is a lot of content there on YouTube. So check it out. And thank you so much for listening. And you have a good day.